Hey y'all. I almost forgot what I was going to say. Hey y'all, Bloodwing here,
You
back to
forgot his
bring some
name.
grumpiness. I did bring grumpiness back to your internet, and welcome back to Redneck Radio, where you get an extra healthy side helping today of nice tender pot roast with taters and carrots.
Oh, I've not had my dinner either, so I'm happy with that.
Well, this is may not be well known here, but that is my favorite all time meal. You want to make old Bloodwing happy? Make pot roast with carrots and potatoes.
It's a good way
Oh.
to good way to fill your tummy.
And I even like the fat. In fact, everybody saves me their fat in my family, and I'll just sit there and eat a plate of the fat.
Of a VB when she's cooking my meat. No, that was not an analogy or euphemism for anything. When she's cooking meat, she knows to cut the fat off of mine and take it for herself because I don't like it.
Oh, you don't like the fat? Oh,
No, I can't
it.
stand the texture.
I love it. It's not good for me, obvious for obvious reasons, but I love it. And Sean Hooley out there, good afternoon from a real redneck state, Kentucky. Hello, fellow Kentuckian. I live in Indiana, but my family is from Kentucky, from Lincoln and Casey County. So yeah.
There you go.
So yeah, you will get no argument from me. Kentucky is God's country.
I bet it's hot as heck there right now.
It can get pretty hot and humid in Kentucky because there's so much vegetation. At least where my people's from's dead in the middle. I mean, and then it's out in the middle of the hills. You've watched them horror movies that are based on evil cannibal rednecks, that chase you through the woods and catch
the hills have eyes. I've only seen the second one.
It looks like that. It's just miles and miles of tree covered hills, and because of all that vegetation, it gets quite humid there sometimes.
Yeah.
Plus, that's tobacco country, and you want to know humid? You want to know not being able to breathe? Walk out in the middle of a tobacco field in the middle of August. It's like that tobacco sucks all the oxygen out of the air.
The air is thick.
Yeah. So with me, as you all know already, is Irate Bear. How you doing, Bear? How's it going?
I'm all right. Thank you very much for asking, mate. Bit of a longer day than usual today, mate. I had my ADHD clinic appointment this morning, and we had to go out of town to get there, and to say that VB had some issues delivering the directions to me is a little bit of an understatement. But we got there in the end, despite my extreme anger by the time we got there. And when I say that, like, the county I live in, Cheshire, is town, countryside, town, countryside, town, countryside, town, countryside, city, countryside. Well, there was a much larger area of countryside between here and there, and a couple of towns in between. She's mad in the chat. No,
I see that.
Shut your face, bitch. It was like driving through sunny Mordor. I hate country roads. I hate them. You get all these huge hoofing tractors driving down them. The roads are often very, like, even narrower than like our normal roads. And there's a midge on me. Get off me, you disgusting creature.
I had to talk about midges before the stream, didn't I?
Yeah,
well, we call them gnats, but yeah.
It was just chilling out on my arm there. Yeah, I hate country roads, man. These roads are so narrow. A lot of them, they've not been macked over in quite some time. You can tell. They haven't got lines down the middle of them. Half of these cheeky things. We got there anyway. The appointment went swimmingly. The appointment went very well, actually. I was very happy when I walked away. And when I got back, I made a video, which I have uploaded, and it's now awaiting review.
Yeah.
I laid down for a little bit. I didn't sleep unfortunately. But I'm here. I'm alive, and I'm all good. I'm all good. I'm a little bit hungry. A little bit hungry.
Yeah, yeah. I had a peanut butter sandwich shortly before the stream, but it just wasn't. It was just enough to tide me over. It really didn't curb the hunger.
Yeah. How are you?
Real quick, Cryptic, thank you for the donation. Be careful eating rice around headphones. I put them on afterwards, but it sounded a little grainy. Oh, Cryptic.
The wife is in the chat there saying, "Why you're streaming? I'm sorting out this ant. It's infestation." To correct you, woman, that's going to make her even angrier. Well, you're not doing it though, are you? Because you're bloody talking in the chat.
Yeah, well, there's speaking of country roads, there's plenty of places around here. Well, we were talking about Kentucky earlier, certainly Kentucky, but here in Indiana, I can drive 30 minutes outside of Indianapolis and find one laden dirt roads, easily. Of course, when I was a younger man, I used to take it a challenge is to go down them as fast as I could and hope that I didn't meet somebody coming the other way because there's not room.
Yeah, a lot of the roads were like that today. But I've only got a little, broke, bloody used hatchback.
Yeah.
They're not exactly designed for that kind of thing.
Well, my pickup truck is old. Of course, it's still broke down. My wife's car's a couple of years old. But yeah, most of our life we've drove old, patched together, just held together with a wing and a prayer vehicles because that's all we could afford.
Yeah, I know that, Phil. But my wife is saying they're attacking me, Bear. Well, kill them to death.
Yeah, kill them dead.
You got a kettle,
as Captain Hickenlooper would say, kill them dead.
Exactly. Yeah, they're not fire ants, which I know that you guys in America have, and they're not army ants either. So,
oh Lord have mercy. If you've never accidentally stood on top of a fire ant hole, or here in Indiana, we just call them red ants, or well, a lot of people just call them piss ants. But if you've never stood over a hole of one of them, oh my gosh, they will eat you alive. And the problem is, by the time you start feeling the bites, you're covered, literally covered.
We often have like a lot of documentaries here in the UK that are often where we send our guys over to America so we can see how y'all live.
Yeah.
And I remember watching a documentary on some of the creepy crawlies and the nasties that you guys get over there.
Uh-huh.
Oh, lad, I saw a fire ant infestation and it was not good.
Yeah, they're not good. They're not pleasant critters at all.
Yeah.
And mean. I mean, you'll watch them and we were talking about some of the mean things that I did as a kid earlier before the stream started, like burning insects with a magnifying glass and so forth. But you watch them fire ants. I used to love to sit out and watch them. They'll go after the black ants or anything that moves and just swarm them.
You got some red supremacist ants.
Yeah. they will just swarm them. They don't like anything else. Nothing. Not you, not black ants, not grasshoppers, not nothing.
Foxy said that's pretty much all they have where she lives. That's not good.
Yeah. In the Southwest, they have a lot of them. A lot of them. We have a mixture here in the Midwest. We've got the red ants, but we've got the black ants, and we got the bigger carpenter ants, and
you got multicultural ants.
Yeah. Well, it's a moderate climate here in the Midwest, so we have a multitude of insect life.
I've heard about Arizona, Lindsay. I've heard about Arizona with your scorpions.
Yeah, you got to check your shoes. before you put shoes on in Arizona.
Yeah, I bet.
That is a fact. When we were down there visiting my daughter when she was stationed down there, she said, before you put your shoes on, check them every morning. So why is that? It's because the scorpions will get in there.
Yeah.
Ooh, good reason.
Oh no, that documentary I was watching, I can't remember what state it was in. There was a family. They had like a fairly, it wasn't newborn, but it was still very young Baba in the house, and they had a wolf spider infestation. I think it was a wolf spider.
I'm still mad at you at that video the other day. You
well, we'll get to
yeah,
that.
yeah. He makes a video and wants me to check it out ahead of time before he releases it to the public to make sure that it's good. He sends me the link in DMs, neglects to tell me, knowing that I'm extremely arachnophobic, that the very first scene has this huge hairy spider crawling all over this guy. I'm like, you jerk.
It was CG. Come on.
And then he comes back. Oh yeah, there's spiders in it.
I was like, oh yeah. By the way, there's a spider at the start.
You jerk. Oh well.
But yeah, the documentary had. I think it was wolf spiders. It was that breed of spider that was in my spider reaction video from a while back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the huge, angry-looking things.
Right.
When they bite you, I think it's wolf spiders. Please correct me if I'm wrong. But when they bite you, the venom melts your flesh.
That sounds like a brown recluse.
I could be wrong.
Also known as
years. It's been years since I watched it.
Also known as the fiddler spider. But yeah, if it was brown recluse, those dudes are no joke.
Yeah.
At all. I've seen them. In fact, my youngest sister got bit on the head by one once.
Ow.
When we were in Kentucky. We know it was one because it was in the middle of the night. We were sleeping in a camper, and she evidently rolled over on it and smashed it in her sleep.
Yeah.
So the carcass was still there, and oh boy, her forehead. They had to take her to the emergency room.
Oh, jeez.
It was not a good deal.
Foxy said that's a brown. I mean, it's been years since I watched that documentary, so I couldn't remember the exact breed of what it was.
Yeah, it may be something different, but the brown recluse poison does melt your flesh. It causes. They're nasty dudes. We get these.
They mistook it for a wolf spider at first. I don't know.
We get these spiders here that they're not real big. They're only about the size of a dime, and but they're real furries. What we call jumping spiders. They jump everywhere. They don't crawl. They jump.
Yeah. And
them dudes, for as small as they are not afraid of anything.
Gotcha.
Poke at them and stuff, trying to get them away, and they'll come out and jump you. I've had them chase me across the kitchen.
Did you not volley it?
I was running for a shoe because I don't wear shoes. I'm a redneck. I go barefoot in the house. But I was running for a flip flop or anything I could find to smash it with.
I'd have tried to volley it.
Yeah.
Woof. Bang. Off you go.
But they are not afraid of anything. I don't care how big it is. You ain't backing them down in a corner. They're coming out.
Did you kill it?
Oh yeah. I killed it. I seen a thing that I think my daughter shared on Facebook today over my wife's shoulder. She didn't know I seen it. She was on Facebook earlier. As I walked by, I looked over just to see what she was doing, and it was the thing. It's like seeing a spider's not that bad. It's when you don't see them anymore. Yeah, that's true. I've yelled at my family before, like, don't tell me you saw a spider and then you didn't kill it. You missed it. Now I'm going to be freaked out.
Yeah, you can imagine how freaked out I was, because just bear in mind, my office space, the little office space, is tiny in here, yeah? And you may remember from last summer when I had my green screen hanging up, right? And I told you about that I walked in through the door one morning, and there was a spider the size of my fist just chilling out on the green screen. I was like, "Oh hell no!" And I fought it with a brush.
On rare occasion, you don't see them often, but on rare occasion, I forget what they're called. I used to know the name of it, but there's this really huge spider here. They're harmless. They don't really mess with you. They're usually in gardens and so forth, and they're green and multicolored, green and orange and red. If they weren't a spider, they'd be pretty. But they're just so huge. They just creep me out so bad when I see one. They're like, if you take your both your forefingers and both your thumbs and make a circle with it, that's about how big their leg span is.
They're big lads.
They're just big. And, let's not talk about them anymore. I'm giving myself the creeps.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking around my office space.
I am too. I'm sitting here looking over on the floor, and it's like, is there one garden spider? Thank you, Dr. House. I don't know why I couldn't think. Sometimes my old man memory just terrible. And names is the worst thing for me. Names of things, names of people. My own name at the start of the screen. I just can't remember them. I did want to take a minute to go. I know I talked about a little bit on our short stream yesterday, but I wanted to do it on our main stream. Everybody, or most of you now, are caught up on what happened at Tuesday's stream and what I went through and what happened. Long story short, the landlord knocked the cable down off the side of the house and run over it with a lawnmower. But I did want to say this, and cable guy, if you're listening, because he said he was going to give me a subscription. If you're listening, thank you, buddy. I really appreciate it. You were very helpful and a very nice person, and I really enjoyed talking to you. And I just wanted to say that because I'm sure you don't hear that enough in the work that you do. So, yeah. Foxy says she tagged me on something on Twitter. Do I want to look, Foxy? If this is a picture of a spider, I don't want to see it.
Well, did she tag me as well? That's the question.
I don't know. I'm not seeing it.
Yeah. Okay, she did. It's okay.
It's
come on,
dirty rotten. No. Nope.
Oh, it's only the little idly piddly.
I don't care. It's a whole bunch of nope. dude, I tell you what, if J Kid was here, he'd tell you because he was there. He would tell you that what I'm telling you is not a fib or over exaggeration. Years ago, I mean, when J Kid was probably about a preteen, probably around 11, 12 years old, something like that. We were at my brother-in-law's house for a Bible study, and there was about half a dozen of us there, men, as a men's Bible study. And yes, I know that's sexist, but we were sitting there around my brother-in-law's kitchen table, and I happened to be talking, and I noticed my cousin who was there kept staring, but he wasn't looking at my face like you would if somebody's talking. He's looking at my shoulder. And he keeps looking between my face and my shoulder and my face and my shoulder. And I said, Chuck, what the heck's going on, man? And he starts laughing because he knows how scared I am. He says, you got a spider on you. And I look over on my shoulder real quick, and it's this little tiny, can barely see it thing running on my shoulder. I'm going to tell you what. I'm not ashamed to admit, I beat myself to death. I fell out of the kitchen chair into the kitchen floor, beating myself over that spider. Yeah, it don't matter to me. No.
Oh, God. Yeah, I'm the same, to be honest.
If it's got 8 legs, I don't. Nope. That's a whole bunch of nope.
Yeah. I can't deny that. I think I'm very much the same. Like, if a spider was to drop on me now, I would throw myself across this office and start throwing myself against the wall to kill it. No sacrifice is too great.
We get these real spindly looking things. You were talking about Daddy Longlegs earlier, or what you guys call the huntsman. which aren't a true spider.
Not a huntsman.
Or not a huntsman. What is it you call them?
A harvestman.
Harvestman. There you go. Yeah. We call them daddy long legs over here.
Yeah, we call them daddy long legs over here.
But this is a true spider, and they have kind of a spindly body, but they have legs like that, really long, spindly legs.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got a few of those in our house. And I've kind of left them alone a little bit to hope they get rid of some of my other pests, But there was one, I was sitting on the John, which, by the way, I made it to the bathroom yesterday after the stream, but just only barely. Only barely. But I was sitting the other day, I was sitting on the toilet and I went to turn around and grab the toilet paper next to the toilet, and one of them had made a web there.
Okay.
And he's sitting in the web. And he'd been there right at my back the whole time. And I got to somehow get the toilet paper. Like, no.
We're going to play a game, Bloodwing.
But they're pretty skittish. So if you make a movement in their direction, they'll take off. But
yeah.
Yeah, let's
yeah,
change
I'm not a spider fan myself, as you know. I freaking hate, but I'm like that with a lot of things, man. Like I'm like ultra terrified of spiders, snakes, scorpions, like insects in general. Really, like they all freak me out.
Well, I don't have the spider's the only thing that does it for me. I mean, and I don't know why, because I was not always like that. As a kid, I used to collect insects. Catch them, euthanize them in a box full of alcohol and cotton, and stick a pin through them, put them on a board, and I would catch spiders just like any other insect. But at some point in my early teens, and it may have been the event we talked about earlier, we've tried to, my mom and I used to try to figure it out when she was still alive, what made me afraid of them, because I don't know. I just woke up one day and I was terrified.
Mm.
And we think the best we can figure is maybe it was that instance where my sister got bit by the brown recluse.
That would make sense.
But I wasn't always like that. But boy, I am now. And Mama Minnie, who's in the chat quite often, is just as bad as I am.
A peanut Scotsman is calling me a wimp there in the chat. Like that's you can say that because you live in Scotland, where it's so cold, no insects can live. In fact, the only insect that can walk around unbothered by the lack of sun is Nicola Sturgeon.
Yeah.
Behave yourself.
Yeah, Jim Beam, that's right. They can't pierce your skin. Daddy long legs. They're also not a true spider. But which is a good thing, because they don't bother me. Daddy long legs, as much as they look like a spider, don't bother me. When I used to go, as I've mentioned before, hunting all the time, or not hunting, camping all the time. I went hunting too, but I went camping all the time as when my kids were small. And it was nothing to wake up in the morning and your tent's just covered in them. They would just congregate on your tent. Be dozens, if not hundreds, of daddy long legs just all over your tent. They don't bother me, but
yeah, Kelly. Sorry, the missus come in. You're out there. You're coming in to block the fan.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I'm a sweaty ball bag.
You are a sweaty ball bag. Yes, you are. Yeah.
She said it.
Did you kill all the ants?
I did, and I burnt my toes.
Well, you shouldn't be pouring boiling hot water on your feet, should you?
It was splashback.
Splashback.
And I got bit on my forehead.
Well, you shouldn't be headbutting flying ants.
They attacked me. I didn't do nothing. I was just stood there.
But you provoked them.
I didn't do shit.
You were throwing boiling hot water on them.
That was before.
I want that as a soundbite. Her saying she didn't do crap. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get a cup of coffee.
Alrighty. What's going on, chat? I hope you're good. I hope you're having a good week so far. I've got a very agitated woman stood next to me who's blocking my airflow.
Piss off.
For God's sake.
You radiate the freaking house.
No, you do.
You do. You're black.
Oi! If anything, I absorb it. That's how it works.
No,
Yeah.
No,
You silly
no.
friggin'
Do
moo.
you want me to go to the shop?
Yeah, go shop.
I'm buying more booze.
What?
I'm buying more booze.
Imagine my shock.
I got through that 5 litre.
Okay.
You drank a barrel of
5 litre barrel.
a 5-liter barrel of cider.
With the neighbour.
Was
So
this hard cider?
I've had 2.5
Nah.
litre.
What's the percentage on that stuff?
4%.
You sure?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
So I've
not
only had 2.5 litres.
only alcoholic.
I'm not an alcoholic.
Yeah.
Mr. Monopoly of Gulf City, thank you for coming by. I just can't
Oh,
stay
that's
long. I have to work at 4. Hey, thanks for coming by anyway, dude. You know,
Hi,
whatever you can do.
Hi, Joyce. Hi, Bloodwing.
Hey, how's you?
She can't hear you.
No.
Oh, well.
I have my headphones on. I'll relay the message. He said, "Has you?"
Hi.
Are you gonna answer the question instead of just saying hi?
What's has you?
How are you?
How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, now get out. You're blocking my airflow. Have that. Oh my god, she turned the fan around. Right. No. I bought this. It's mine.
It was the
What?
card.
I ain't got my wallet on me.
Where is it then?
It's upstairs.
Oh, you pansy.
Why is that? Doesn't make sense. Gobshite.
See, that's why I like my central air. You can't turn that around. She can go. My wife can go turn it off, which she threatens to do all the time because I freeze her out. But I don't like being hot. I don't like being hot. I mean, you know, I don't like being cold either. But you can always put on more clothes. But you can only take off so many.
Yeah, I know. It's a lot harder to cool down than what it is to warm up. I know handheld fans are worthless pieces of garbage. They just don't do the job. They don't do the job. You're wasting your money if you buy one of them. Really are.
Yeah. So,
oh my god, what do you want?
What's my limit?
I already spent enough on you yesterday.
I didn't ask for it.
Yeah, well, too friggin' bad. You asked for booze and fags, and that's what you got. You cancer estate white trash.
well, that's women, isn't it? Always
you
wanting
can
money.
buy yourself some cheap wine.
Okay. 40 bags or 20?
Just 20. Already bought 40 earlier.
That's women, isn't it? Always wanting money.
I know. Well, she sees me as just a friggin' wallet that sits here streaming. Gobshite. Northern marriage people. Yes, what happens when you marry a northern woman?
Oh,
Unholy Reaper earlier in the chat said he thought that Burping Girl was worse than the vegan that I covered today on the second channel, I Rate Alex. I keep calling it the second channel, but I really want it to become my main channel. Now I don't know if you wouldn't have seen it, would you?
not yet. No,
I don't want to spoil it.
Yeah, I've been busy all day today. We're trying to get a little bit. You know, you and I were talking one day last week that I really need to start working on Redneck track a little earlier than I do.
Yeah.
And so I've been doing some work on it. I obviously haven't scripted it or anything yet, but I recorded the gameplay last night and I was going to do it the day before, but you know, my internet was out. So anyway, the recording stopped and I didn't realize it until I looked up a little at one point. And I'm like, oh God, how much did I not get? And so I go back and look at it and it was like half of the mission I didn't even get.
Oh, for God's sake.
So I had to go back. You can replay missions. So I had to go back and replay the mission. So for half the mission, you're actually going to notice there's a difference in Hickenlooper's level and in the weapons on his ship. You know? So I figured out a way to work that into the video, you know, the whole thing. And I've been hunting down video effects for that, and I also turned off the music. I'm going to start running it without music and putting my own music in there, like for the battle scenes and so forth.
Yeah.
So some good metal rock and roll, something appropriate for fights.
Oh yeah. Speaking of machinimas, I'm gonna start working on my one-off project that I want you for.
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna start working on it tomorrow. And Viper as well I need her for it, and she's already aware of that. So I will be sending lines to both of you tomorrow.
Mr. Monopoly of Gold City says, "Who is Hickenlooper?" Hickenlooper
you got to go watch it.
Billy Joe Bob Hickenlooper, the first redneck captain in Star Trek in the Federation. It's a new series that I've started. We've just finished episode 7. Generally premieres on Sundays. So yeah, it's on my channel. You can go check it out.
Mm-hmm.
It's just some mindless fun is all it is. Just me trying to make y'all laugh. That's just it.
Bloodbane's creating his own weekly release machinima on his YouTube channel. If you haven't watched it, you should definitely go check it out, folks.
Yeah, because I have a lot of fun. It's turned it into a lot of work, but I'm having a lot of fun doing it. Don't mind it. You thought I was talking about the DNC candidate. It's just coincidence that it's the same name. It really is. Bear asked me this. I think it was Bear asked me the same thing. And see, the thing is, when I was a kid, there was a children's show host who went by the name of Harlow Hickenlooper. And that's what I was basing it on, because that, this is from the 60s, long before anybody heard about this politician.
Mm.
Mama Minnie's out.
Mama Minnie.
How you doing, baby? Hey, Mama Minnie, take a minute. Tell Bear just how much I love pot roast. And hey, Otterface. Hey, how you doing?
You dirty scouser. What's going on? Foxy mentioned by saying, wait, doesn't Vanilla Bear earn the money in the house? Yeah, she has the job, but I earn money on YouTube as well. Sometimes a lot more than her.
Yeah. Well, if it's like my house, my wife earns the money, but I'm better with money than she is. Not that I'm good with money. I'm just better than she is.
Yeah, I'm not good with money, but I'm better than Vanilla Bear. So.
And Joys of Sorrow, Redneck is censored. I'm not even able to claim what I actually am. Thank you, Cryptic. Oi, 1/4 check your labs. Don't read it, of course.
I'm doing it now. Give me a moment. I don't have it open during these. I just expect. Okay. Thank you, mate. Thank you.
That's one. Speaking of Streamlabs, I've noticed something that I don't know exactly when they done it, but it's been fairly recent. They actually now have down the left side of when you're in Streamlabs, it has a link just straight to the what is it called? To the alert box. I have to jump through less hoops to get to the alert box, and I appreciate that.
Good.
But one of the things I don't appreciate is the new freaking Twitter, which I'm not going to spend a lot of time on today.
Because you don't have to revert it.
Yeah, I did that yesterday. Yeah, but I have to do it every time I reopen it.
Oh, I also saw that Otterface had sent me the BBC article that everyone was quote tweeting today. I've not read it, but I did reply to somebody who was basically saying, the article says, the title is Forced Penetration. If a woman forces a man to have sex, is that rape? And I didn't respond to the article because I didn't read it. But I did respond to somebody who also hadn't bothered to read it, but was just going, no, and give them shit for it. But there is the article, and maybe we could have this in a bit. Maybe, possibly.
Maybe.
I don't know. Can you repeat?
Mama Minnie responded, "Oh, if you make pot roast, you better make a whole one for him. He is part cow after all.
No.
You darn tootin'. I'm telling you, I can eat some pot roast. And she's not joking. When you make them, you've got to make 2 of them. Love me some pot roast. Don't get it very often, but I love it. Yeah, we could talk about that, of course.
You mentioned pot roast, and the first thing I thought of, right, I'm going to send a text to Vanilla Bear, who's probably on her way to the stow right now. You say, you better cook me some food.
Opinionated Scotsman, yeah, downloaded a Chrome extension. It should take it back to the old Twitter. I heard about that, haven't tried it yet. The only thing, it probably is just what Bear helped me with, and he did help me to revert it. It's just a workaround, like we used to do with YouTube before they finally made it where you couldn't do that, and everybody was
forcing us to use the new dashboard at some point.
Yeah. And it's just a workaround that it's probably just a oversight on Twitter's part that you can get back to the old one on that part. But I have no doubts that sooner or later they're just going to remove the old Twitter interface completely off their servers, and you're not going to have any choice, which is what Twitter did. You know, when they first introduced YouTube, when they first introduced the new YouTube, which we all hated, and I still hate, by the way. But you know, there for a while, if you put a little extension on the end of your URL, you could get back to the old one. Well, they finally removed it off their servers, and now you can't. But yeah, at least for a change. I don't like change. I really don't like change. But this with Twitter, this is not about that, because this was not a change to the better. They're regressing. It's clunkier. It's the only good thing about it, as I mentioned earlier, was the fact that if you're looking at your timeline, then you decide to switch over and look at a notification, it takes you right back in your timeline where you left off. You know, and if you're trying to get caught up like I usually do in the mornings, you know, what was posted overnight, that's a good thing. That's the only good thing I've seen about it personally.
Obviously you don't have this, but the only good thing I like personally from the new Twitter is the fact that I can switch between irate Bear and irate Alex Twitter accounts just how you can on the phone. But before I had to fight with browser Twitter to get her done.
Yeah, Viper Sword, you learn to live with it. You do. I don't like it, but I'll learn. And yes, it is easier, Joel Brown. The settings are easier. But that's because they put huge buttons for everything all down the left side of your screen that takes up a third of your screen. Click this button.
Push it.
Push it real good. Yeah, I just don't like it. I don't like it. And I've seen the pictures of the 3 girls that made it. And yeah, I'm not surprised that that's what they look like.
That's sexist, sir.
It is, but it's true.
Racist.
It's true. It's like this Frankenstein amalgamation of Facebook and Snapchat. What's next? Are they going to make it to where you can put bunny ears and cat whiskers on all your tweets?
I mean, technically, you kind of can. I mean, with emojis.
Yeah, but I just hate it. I don't.
That's our problems, old man. Get used to it.
I don't like cute. I don't like cutesy stuff. Get it away from me. Well, you know, it reminds me of a story. I was going to tell this story yesterday, and I'll tell it real quick now, and then we can get on. My last job, I worked at a limo company, as you well know, Bear. But
yes.
I was the cashier, which means I worked in a small office off to myself. It was connected to the dispatch room by a window, but you know, it was my own little office.
Yeah.
And at the time, at one point in time while I was working there, the 3 shifts, because you know, it's a 24-hour business. The 3 shifts were, I was in the morning, J Kid was in the afternoon, and this woman that talked like she'd had way too many Marlboros in her life, you know, talk like this.
Yeah, I've met a few of those in my life as well.
Had the overnight shift. Well,
Mm.
you know, of course, you have to have people to cover our days off, or if we need to take a break, they'll come in and sit. So there's people that work there that were in that office, but weren't all the time in that office. They were just sometimes, right?
Mhm.
I went in one morning and walked in because this one girl that's only in there was only in there once or twice a week decided it needed a makeover. The office did. And
Yeah.
I walked in
Mhm.
and there was all these girly flowery pictures all over the walls. There were actual vases with flowers in them all over the office. I mean, it was to the point that my workspace was taken up. I could not work because I had to move the flower pot out the way. You know, when before the only thing that was on the walls was stuff to do with work and one Indianapolis Colts poster, and that was because they sponsored us.
Mm.
You know, so of course we're going to have some of their stuff up to show that, hey, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
I walked in and seen that, and even painted. I don't know how she managed it, but she painted it.
Painted?
Yeah, it was like this olive color, you know, and I'm like, oh my god, I feel like I'm in the waiting room of a gynecologist. And I immediately went to my boss, who was a female. She's the one that I've mentioned before, was always scared of me.
Can you imagine Bloodwing going to complain to his boss about flowers?
Well, I had to wait until she got there because I had to be at work at 6 a.m. and management, you know, they don't get there till 8. And I went in, I said, you know, we've got a rule here. It's in the handbook that we're not allowed personal stuff on the walls, you know, like pictures of our kids and stuff. We're not allowed any of that.
Yeah.
But dadgummit, you know, that not all of us in that office are women. We don't want to look at this stuff. And I'm not saying you got to put up sports posters everywhere or posters of monster truck rallies or what have you, but no. Get this out of here. It's making me sick. That's exactly what I told her.
Thanking you, Perfectly Fair Delusions. I will check momentarily.
Surprisingly to me, I figured I'd get a lot of flack about it, but I was going to complain anyway.
Of course.
But she agreed with me. And by the next day, all that stuff was missing, and they repainted the office.
Oh. You know, you're a mean old man, you are.
I don't, you know, it would be one thing if all that worked in there were women. But at that time, 2/3 of us were men. You know, I don't want to look at you. And it was in my way. We had like tables they weren't tables, like flat counterpieces that were attached to the walls in a semicircle around the office. And we used it as workspace to get all the, because I was the cashier, but one of my responsibility was to get all the drivers' jobs ready for them on clipboards, and each one got a radio and each one got a cell phone and yada yada, you know. So I needed space to work in to sort all that stuff out, and I couldn't even work for having to move these stupid flower pots because they were huge. They were like a Ming Dynasty vase with these orange flowers coming out of these avocado green vases. I'm like,
That's actually pretty disgusting.
yeah, and that's what this new Twitter makes me feel like. I'm just like, is there a man's version? Is there a testosterone version of Twitter now? Come on.
Oh, you're so dramatic.
I can be. Yes, I can be.
Yes, you can be.
But it's all right. I'm almost 60 years old, and I've earned the right.
That's right. You're right as an American.
That's right. Mr. Monopoly asked, what was the price of cigarettes in the 90s? I don't remember.
A lot cheaper than what it is now, I would imagine.
I know that in the early 70s when I started smoking, because I started smoking at 12, folks. Not proud of it, but it's what the fact is.
My shock, tried to imagine.
And there was a neighborhood mom and pop store that would look the other way and sell you cigarettes, you know. And because, well, a lot of kids, to be fair, would come in and buy cigarette. In those days, it wasn't uncommon for parents to say, go down to the store and buy me some cigarettes.
Oh yeah, it was when I was a kid, and that was the 90s.
Yeah.
You know?
And thank you, Cryptic, for the donation. Redneck drama queen. But back to the point, in those days, I think when I first started buying cigarettes, they were about 40 cents a pack, which is pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Of course, that was in the days when they had cigarette machines, even in the hallways of the hospitals. Figure that one out. You'd be walking down the hallways of the hospital, and there'd be this machine over there where you could just buy cigarettes. Had all the major brands.
For a long period of time, we just didn't know that cigarettes were harmful.
Yeah.
You know, on British warships, they actually used to have built-in ashtrays into the operations rooms consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it.
Now, right?
Well, that brings up another thing. It just aggravates me. And it's been years now they've been doing it. But in automobiles, I don't know if they do this in Britain, but in America, you can't buy a car with an ashtray in it anymore.
I don't actually know. I don't know. But like if you're caught smoking with kids in your car, you will get pulled over for that.
I mean, in some of them, you can buy a kit where you can install an ashtray.
Yeah.
But it costs you extra. But I'm like, shut up. Okay. Put the ashtray. Excuse me. Put the ashtray back. Even if I don't smoke, I can throw my change in there. It was handy.
Yeah.
Give it back.
Your rights in America again. They're taking away your rights.
If I want to kill myself with emphysema and cancer, it's my right.
That's right.
So a lot of it's like my truck doesn't have one. It's new enough that it doesn't have one. So I've got a little ashtray that I keep under the seat.
That's fair. That's fair.
Perfectly
reasonable in my mind, anyway. I do have an ashtray in my car, but I don't like it. So I have a can, like a half drunken Fanta can.
Yep.
And then when that gets full, I'll swap it out for something else.
Yeah, they don't have opinionated Scotsman. They don't have lighters either. Now they've got where you can put a lighter in so that you can plug in your cell phone charger. They want to make it easier for you to talk on your cell phone and drive, but they want to make it harder on you to smoke.
And not to obviously change the subject, but Viper with her pessimism there. Unlike the UK where we don't have rights, yeah, well, that's about to change. We now have a brand new prime minister. He has that brand new prime minister smell.
Yeah, and I've seen a short video on Twitter where he was giving them heck.
I have never seen a British politician stand up and deliver such a great message of hope. Also, I saw the video where he was trolling the life out of Corbyn and the rest of the Labour Party, and it was glorious.
That's what I seen. I'm like, that guy, man. You go, boy.
But yeah, get him.
Thank you, Cryptic, for the donation. Wait for diseases to do you in. I can do it now. No, thanks. I'd rather do it over time, string it out as long as I can.
Yeah.
I ain't never dying anyway. I'm going to hang around just to annoy y'all.
Yeah, well, Viper mentioned Churchill. Yeah, well, I wasn't alive when Churchill was about. I'm only 31. Right, I'm a young man.
I think he was still alive when I was alive, but
of course he was. I mean, you were around when America was still the 13 colonies, weren't you?
No. In all honesty, I was born in 1960, and I'm not sure when Churchill died. So,
Viper says, "I'll hold off on the celebration until I see him in action." I mean, that's fair because at the end of the day, he is a politician, and we know what politicians are like. But I mean, come on, it's worth it just to see him just rip Corbyn to shreds.
Even if what he said was BS, I would have enjoyed it just because of the way he made Corbyn look.
Yeah. I mean that was entertaining, you know.
I'd say in a lot of ways, you guys now got your own version of Trump.
See, I made a video talking about Boris and how, you know, hashtag not my prime minister started trending, and you know, a lot of people were like comparing him to Trump, and then there was a lot of debates going on. I don't think it's. I don't know if it's a fair comparison.
Yeah. Joel Brown says 65 Churchill died. So yeah, I was 5 years old when he died. I was around, I guess, for a little while.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Yes, folks, I was born in 1960, before the Beatles even came to America. Wow. That's a long time ago.
When the was still performing in the Cavern Bar in Liverpool.
Yeah. So anyway, go ahead. I interrupted you, Bear. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, he's very rude.
Well, it is my stream. You don't like it, get out.
Okay, bye.
Go back where you came from.
Go back. What was I saying? I don't know if it's a fair comparison. It'd be a good. It's a good comparison if you understand the basic differences between America and the UK. Like Americans, they like to go big or go home. Yeah. We're a lot more reserved in the way that we do things. So I suppose Boris would be a lot more reserved, but at the same time, a lot more aggressive. And I can only say that because you guys don't have like a House of Commons where your politicians scream at each other, whereas we do. Whereas your president is on Twitter giving people shit and it's hilarious. Whereas ours will be a lot more reserved on social media. You know what I mean? Like it's that weird kind of zigzagged kind of comparison, you know?
Yeah, it is funny, and we've talked about this before. Here in America, of course, we are a little more, I think the word would be bombastic.
You got that pizzazz.
We are. But yet, on the floor of the House and of the Senate, because we divided into two, you got the one, we got two.
We actually have two ourselves.
But
we have two, but remember, one of them isn't elected. One's the House of Lords, which aren't elected.
They do tend, in the House and the Senate, they do tend to be more reserved than European politicians, which is odd. You know, overall, we're more bombastic, but on the floor, they do seem to follow decorum just a little more. Not that there isn't some snark and crazy things, but it's done in such a way that it follows decorum. Yeah.
I mean, we have people getting booted out of the House of Commons for calling each other names. You know, it's it can get a little bit aggressive. I mean, you can hear them swear at each other as well. Like you can hear it, but they only do it if the entire like one side is jeering at the other. You have to listen closely, then you can hear it.
And yeah, Maniac Man, we still do. It's just when they're publicly speaking, it just tends to be on a more reserved note. Have you ever seen film clips of what goes on over in the House of Commons that Bear's talking about? I have, and it's hilarious. It's almost WWE wrestling stuff over there. I'm telling you.
Yeah. So sometimes I almost feel bad for the speaker. Almost feel bad for him. I do not like John Burkow. He's a ponce, but Cameron and Blair are Fabian socialists. All right, Blair.
I mean, when I first watched that video that you were talking about with Boris and Corbyn, I watched it with the sound off, and I didn't need it on. You just watch it and watch Corbyn's reaction. He's like, dude.
Oh, God, he came out and just asked, oh, no, perfectly fair to lose. Oh, God, no. Really?
What?
Right, we'll have this after.
Okay.
We'll have it after. Thank you for that. By the way, Perfectly Fair Delusions. That's awesome. Will Bojo work with Nigel? No. Why would he?
Yeah.
Well, also, Blair shouldn't have been ever in the Lib Dems. I don't know where you're getting that from either. The man was effectively a red Tory, a red conservative. I know it's weird, isn't it? Because your conservatives are red, aren't they? And your Lib Dems are Liberal Democrats are blue, whereas it's the opposite over here. Whereas our Labour Party, the leftists, are the red party. Blair is a conservative-like globalist, I'd say, and a warmongering shit.
Yeah, here Republican Party is designated by red, which the Democrat Party is designated by blue. I think what's even funnier is the mascot animals of the two parties.
The elephant and donkey.
Yeah. The Democrat mascot is a jackass. I've just always thought that's funny. I'm sorry.
I need to get my lighter. Back in a second.
Alrighty. And I'll just take this moment to say, how are you, chat? Hope you're enjoying yourself. How's everybody doing? Having a good day, I hope. Sorry about that. I seem to be having a little trouble with my throat today. And I haven't even talked that much. Says I blame the 2000 election for switching the colors. Eating ramen. Well, Ebony, if that's a good thing for you, then more power to you. I'm not a fan.
Oh, I loved Bojo's speech today. I adored it. You know, he stands up and he goes, you know, I've had quite enough of this pessimism in the House of Commons, and it's about time that we were more optimistic. Yes, yes. You know, and he was like, oh, I would like to see the United Kingdom become the greatest country in the world. And I was like, God damn. Yeah. I've never heard a British politician say anything like that.
Oh, and like I said, though, just the look on Corbyn's face was worth the price of admission.
I mean, he looks like a geography teacher anyway. And today he looked like a geography teacher who'd been bullied by his class.
Yeah. I mean, he was sitting in his chair, like looking from one side to the other. He wouldn't even look at Boris. He was like, "Oh God, this is so awkward."
Boris's speech today was electric.
Yeah,
it really was. Like, I can't remember a time when a British politician stood up as an orator and just lit up the crowd. Like, even though it wasn't a crowd, it was the House of Commons,
right?
First address as Prime Minister, but that message of hope, and freedom. I mean, yesterday when he made his speech outside 10 Downing Street, he mentioned freedom of speech. You don't know how big that is. You don't hear that term come out of people's mouths.
Yeah, that's encouraging. Yeah, I thought. Hey, Schnoz Gutenberg, what you doing, dude?
Big Nose has arrived.
Yeah, to me, Corbyn looked like that kid that's just sitting there and getting berated by his parent or whatever, and wants to be anywhere but there. It was just hilarious.
I bet like the SNP are shitting themselves right now as well.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
But yeah, Unholy Reaper. In many ways, he is the British Trump. I mean, he's not exactly like Trump, but he's certainly in that mold. I mean, I think Bear would probably agree that he's in that mold. They're not identically alike, but they're enough alike that a comparison is acceptable. But, huh?
Nothing.
What? Who? Where? Are you all right, Bear?
I'm muting myself.
Yeah, I figured that. I figured. I also see Gutenberg out there trolling you till you delete his message.
Oh, look, I'm so excited that I got something to say to you. Get on here, big nose. We'll do it how we used to do it back in the day.
Oh boy.
Back when I actually enjoyed doing YouTube.
Some of them conversations we used to have in Discord were just, folks, I used to laugh till I couldn't breathe. When Bear and Gutenberg would start going at it.
Yeah. Come at me, schnoz.
You want to have a go, Talcum? Deck Train, Trump is the greatest WWE heel in American politics, right? Yeah. So, yeah, Britain apparently now has their own version of Trump. And,
I liked his speech, you know.
Yeah.
But both speeches, you know, the one in the House of Commons where he appealed, but he did make an attempt to appeal to the other parties, you know, and to you know, he laid it out, you know, as real as possible for everybody, saying, look, I'm gonna say the truth. Theresa May went to go and tried to negotiate with the EU 3 times. Before that, David Cameron tried to negotiate with them. And they just will not play the ball. They will not play the game with us. They will not play ball with us, right? Because they're just moody shits, European shits, right?
Yeah.
You have to be prepared for a no-deal Brexit.
Unholy Reaper. Okay, I've got a porterhouse to cook. We'll have you all in the background. Appreciate that, but I'm jealous. That sounds pretty good to me. And Gutenberg is up with that Brexit. LOL.
Yeah, I responded to him.
Yeah, it just hadn't showed on my screen yet. Yeah, I mean, I, as an American, don't understand the whole EU thing. Anyway, I know it started as more or less a trade deal kind of thing.
Yeah,
but
trade block.
Yeah, you know, how did it get to the point now where it's pretty much running Europe, you know? Because it's telling you all what you can do and what you can't do all the time.
It was born out of the idea that cooperation between European nations, even on a political level, is the only thing to stop us from killing each other, which is some massive BS in my mind.
Yeah. It just, I don't know. I try to get my head around it and can't, you know. I just can't see America giving a trade bloc that kind of power over them, you know.
Well, it's no longer a trade bloc.
Yeah,
it's much more than that now, and has been for a while, unfortunately. And what's most irritating is that the people who run it are a former communist state, like politicians from the old Eastern Bloc. Excuse me. He wants in.
I don't care.
Well, let me just grab the link.
I'll leave it to you. I'll make it your call.
Yeah, we should let him in. We should definitely let him in.
In the meantime, while we're waiting for him to arrive, I'm going to go take a tinkle. I'll be right back.
Alrighty. Okay, Gutenberg, I'm going to send you the link. If I could just figure out how to... Oh, there we go. Okay. Sending you it from R8 Bear Twitter. Oh, fuck's sake. There we are. All good in the hood. He has the link. Prepare Uranus. Come at me, faggot. If you think you're hard enough. I just think that the UK need to leave no matter what. Well, we will. Now with Boris as Prime Minister, that the man has taken a very much a Brexit stance, and we will leave in 15 minutes. Oh my God. That means he's going to turn up. It means I'm going to forget about Gutenberg over the next 15 minutes. and then he'll just come steaming in and scare the crap out of me like he did last time I streamed with him. Such a dick. Such a dick. Oh, excuse me. Oh dear. Yeah, I think it would be good for the UK. Of course it will be. Of course it will be. It'd be fantastic. Yeah, but in terms of like, a lot of you don't seem to like understand how our politics works over here. Like, oh, you know, we'll like as was asked earlier, you know, will Boris work with Farage? Where it's like, why would he? They're not in the same party. Farage is not an elected member of parliament. He's an MEP, and the idea is to get rid of all the MEPs by leaving the EU. I mean, Farage, in terms of being an actual member of parliament, is unelectable. I mean, I know we all like the guy, and he makes epic speeches and trolls the life out of European Union people. Sorry, but Farage is fucking retarded when it comes to actually real politics on a national scale, and so is the rest of the rest of his party. I'm not talking to you, though, am I, Joel? Yeah, Farage would not be a part of any of this, and Boris would be stupid to even bother consulting him or anybody from his Brexit party. I mean, it's completely fucking pointless existence. But yeah, Boris is the one who's in charge. He's elected his cabinet. Well, not elected the cabinet, but chosen his cabinet. I'm fairly sure he made Dominic Raab, who I wanted to be the prime minister, but whatever, to be the deputy to him, and is also the foreign secretary now as well. And we'll get this shiznay done. Of course, there are the big hit piece on Boris and Boris's cabinet right now is that that almost all of them are in favor of the death penalty, which is why I started that. Poll in the first place. Really, it was an article that was put up on. Yeah, it was a pretty big shakeup. Yeah, I think he fired about 15, 16 cabinet members from their positions and replaced them all, basically.
I see while I was away, Viper Sword said we need to leave and then join America. How ironic would that be? Seriously, if that happened, how ironic would that be?
Yeah, that would be silly.
That you know, our nation's beginning was because we left Britain, and if they ended up being our 51st state, hey.
Well, the idea of us leaving is to regain our own sovereignty. So
yeah.
It's the equivalent of Scotland trying to leave the UK again and try to join the EU. You know, it's because they want their independence, but they want to join back up with the EU, where they'll get literally no say in anything.
Oh, more likely, if we got a 51st state, it would probably be Puerto Rico, and that's probably not going to happen either. It does come up for vote every once in a while, but yeah, I just don't think that's going to happen either.
Yeah, and Mike Savage is right. Well, I don't know that, actually. I don't know that, but it's the first politician I've heard in my lifetime, elected politician, mention free speech, which is a big deal, really, really big deal. I don't know how many people caught that out.
Yeah, because it's really not. And again, let me give a disclaimer. I don't understand I understand British politics less than you understand American politics. So, but you know, it's really not a guarantee over there, as much as it is here in America. You know, it's our constitutional right.
Yeah.
And Boris is Russian. Gutenberg.
Boris isn't Russian.
Yeah. Jay Wolf says Guam has already voted to become State 51. They're waiting on some arbitrary time to elapse. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me either. I just know that Puerto Rico comes up for vote every once in a while, just like it comes up for vote for Hawaii to quit being the 50th state every once in a while. We're still mad. In fact, there's some things going on there now in that line in Hawaii. And in admission, the way they became the 50th state was pretty low. We kind of did pull a dirty deal on Hawaii. But, you know.
Is it raining? It sounds like it's raining.
Not here.
Hmm.
No, sun's shining pretty good. Of course, that don't mean anything here. It's common for it to rain while the sun's shining, it seems like.
I don't know.
You might be hearing my air conditioning running.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Not much I can do about that, unfortunately, because I'm only about 12 feet from the furnace. So,
Yeah. Viper said it's trying to rain. I mean, we don't live too far away from each other, so yeah, it's most likely the case. We'll probably get a storm later on again, Viper.
and I'm looking at this, and maybe my page just hasn't updated. How many likes are you seeing on the page there?
I'm gonna refresh it just to make sure.
Yeah.
24 and 25 of mine now.
Yeah. 75 people watching. Come on. You can't tell me you're not entertained.
Are you not entertained?
Yeah, hit the like button, guys. Come on. Doesn't cost you a thing, takes a click of the mouse, and it really helps me out.
Yeah. Smash that like button, peeps, and don't forget to share it out on Twitter or two. You know, it's not for me because I know you lot are like dicks to me, but be nice to the old man.
I did see where Gutenberg said it's going to take him about 15 minutes to come in or something.
Yeah, no, as I said, I'll forget that he's coming,
and then he'll just jump.
Yeah, come in screaming like he does normally. It scares the crap out of me.
God, and look at that, just like that, it's up to 40. Look at that. Thank you, guys. I knew you could do it. Y'all just forgot, didn't you? We had you so entertained and so distracted, you just forgot the like button. I know.
That's right. They were glued. They were glued.
They were glued onto whether Bear's going to survive the stream or not.
I'll be all right. It's all right. It's fine. I'm all right. I think a fly went down my throat earlier.
Oh.
Yeah. I have an article.
Oh.
And this is the one that Perfectly Fair Delusions threw to me earlier. But I wanted to read this one first because the title is insane.
All right. Then share it.
Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. me.
Monopoly, have a good day at work.
Have a good one, mate. Peppa Pig is a queer icon, and it's time we all stan our queen. Now, there's a lot going on in this time, right? And I've seen a lot of YouTubers use the word stan a lot.
Yeah.
And I don't understand what it means.
It doesn't it just mean fan?
Well, I mean, it's time we all stan our queen. I don't. Like, I'm becoming a boomer at this point. Right?
You're asking me.
And he cuts out. That's hello, Mr. Bloodwing. Mr. Blood. Okay, it's just me then. Until he comes back, Mr. Bloodwing, you'll have to shout at me when you come back to stop me from talking. And yeah, this is from Mel Magazine. There we go. Oh, can we get an F for the old man in the chat, please? I'd sure appreciate it. All by myself. It's super fan. The term stan came from an Eminem song. Oh, well, why is that only now just becoming a thing? Like, surely it should have been a thing back in the early 2000s when it came out. It's so gay. It's time we all stan our queen. It's pathetic. The shade-throwing Nick Jr. character, which, to be fair, like, Peppa Pig does throw a lot of shade. The shade-throwing Nick Jr. character just dropped my first album, a record full of accidental pride anthems. Okay. Oh my god, they've even got the tracks here. Oh, for God's sake, you can click and play. I'm going to drop this article in the chat. There you go. And I'm also going to send it there. There we go. Thank you very much for that article, Perfectly Fair Delusions. Oh, he's now completely left the hangout. So if he doesn't come back, then I will get yeeted from the Hangout. So I'm just going to hold off from reading this for just a moment, if you will. You guys can still hear me, right? Like, there's no issues. By the way, did you notice that Boris Johnson could also pronounce the word issues properly? Makes sense if muddy puddles is a euphemism for butt sex. Oh God, no. Oh no. Yeah, still hear you. Good. Yeah, if he doesn't come back in time. Oh yeah, he also pronounces negotiation properly. He doesn't say it like Theresa May says it. You know how she says negotiate and issues. That sound like friggin' Stewie Griffin. It's just keep going for like 10 minutes. Yeah, I know, mate. It'll die off if he doesn't come back, though. And I'm just going to keep my eye on them Twitter dooms as well. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. What, Bear? What? He doesn't lisp. Yeah, he's got no lisp. I mean, the thing is with Boris, though, is... I mean, even though he can pronounce those words correctly, like negotiation and issue, like that's how you pronounce it properly. Oh, you didn't hear me? Okay. Like he is still, he can be difficult to understand sometimes, you know? Like he's a very, he's like me in some ways, isn't he? He's very, he forgets words almost constantly, like I do. You know, I think I talk a little bit like he does. You know, I've got that stammer, you know. I still can't get over his lambasting the Labour. Yeah, Labour Party it was amazing. It was amazing. I might just rewatch that video again if Bloodwing doesn't come back. Now that you mentioned it, yeah, he is. Yeah, oh, Gutenberg's here. Before you start screaming down my ear, Bloodwing has been yeeted from the Hangout. Right, can you not do that down the microphone? You arrogant motherfucker. Look at you with your fucking schnapps. Back the fuck up. Where's your fucking pop filter? Stop doing that. Stop slapping your lips. Don't do it.
Carry on.
Don't fucking tell him to carry on. He's just gonna fucking sit there doing it. What is this? ASMR with Gutenberg, is it?
Continue your little fucking shitty rant. I wait.
I wasn't even ranting beforehand, but I was actually trying to tell you before you started in my fucking ear that Bloodwing has been yeeted from the Hangout. If he doesn't come back in time, then I just assume his internet's dead again. Just assume his neighbor's fucking run over his internet cable again.
Yeah, sure thing. Finish your TED talk.
You know, Gutenberg, if you could put a pop filter on your microphone like you used to have back in the day.
I'm all right. Go ahead.
No, you can.
No, go ahead.
Do you want to be muted, motherfucker?
Go ahead. I'll wait.
Oh, I'm done. I'm done talking. You just gonna sit there with your smirk on your face? Yeah?
Yeah, I sure am. Go ahead. Continue. What were you talking about?
What was I talking about? I was talking about the terrible speech from Boris Johnson.
Who?
Yeah, you are freaking me the fuck out right now. They just sat there with your arms up and shit. Stop it! Stop it!
Sure. What do you want me to do? We haven't listened to you guys in like 250 years, but what do you want me to do?
What are you talking about?
We haven't listened to you guys in 250 years.
Go ahead.
Continue. I'm just waiting for you to start your shit.
Oh, I'm started. I'm getting fucking revved up right now.
Oh, go on then. You've had like 20 minutes to get ramped up. So.
I was actually away.
You're not warmed up yet. I don't know what's the issue. Yeah.
I was listening to this fucking degeneracy from across town. I had to come right home and interrupt it and stop it